Well, good morning. This is Pastor Michael Brown with Kalamazoo Gospel Ministries, coming to you with another segment of Stories of Hope from the heart of our community. My guests today are Bill Steger and Carl W. Westplaner from 12 Baskets Ministry, and they're down in Portage. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor.
It is so good to have you all here. I appreciate you all coming up and sharing with us this morning and talking a little bit about 12 Baskets. Tell me a little bit about 12 Baskets.
In the beginning, we received a phone call from Portage Elementary School, and it said, we have children coming to school on Monday mornings who are showing signs of malnutrition.
Okay.
So a backpack ministry was born whereby we fed those children. But a few weeks into it, we noticed the children were still reporting to school, and it turned out the parents were robbing the kids' backpacks. And so we taught the kids to hide the backpacks under their bed and put the trash back in the backpack so that they would get fed.
Okay.
Then the light came on. Feed the parents.
Okay.
And that's kind of how 12 Baskets was born.
Okay.
We started out very humbly with 18 families the first week. They were grateful for what they got.
Yeah.
And we just have continued in the beginning, every 2 weeks we were open. And that progressed to now we're open 4 times a month.
4 times a month.
4 times a month. I suppose I should give you the hours. We're open the second and fourth Saturday.
Okay.
And the first and third Friday. Fridays we're open from 4 to 7. So that people who do have difficulty getting there during the day can get there and shop.
Okay. So tell me, what kind of response did you get from the community? Do you see the numbers growing? Or
currently, this past Saturday, we had 114 families come through on Saturday.
Wow.
Our estimates for last year are helping to feed 14,000 people. Okay. And the year before, we were up to 18,000. This was at the end of the financial crisis.
Yeah.
The job situation is much, much better now. So we've had a decline in some of the regulars, but we still see about 20 to 30 new families every time we're open.
Okay.
So that was 14,000 last year. About 50 to 60% come from the Portage area. People think the Portage area is very well off, and in many cases it is. But I've seen information from the Portage government that 13 to 15% of the population is below the poverty line.
Wow.
That's 4,000 to 5,000 people. Okay? We aren't touching 4,000 to 5,000 people, but we are serving about 60% of that 14,000 people that we see or meals that we provide last year. The community of Vicksburg constitutes about 25% of our guests, and then Three Rivers and Schoolcraft constitute about the other 25%.
Okay.
There are some other smaller farming communities who have heard about us, and we will entertain the notion of serving them also.
Okay.
We try to stay away from Kalamazoo City itself because we know of at least 14 different food ministries, and they will come to and we will give them food once, but we try to school them to get a hold of the various food ministries that are in Kalamazoo.
Right, that are already supporting Kalamazoo.
Exactly.
So where do you all get your resources from?
We are picking up every day of the week, and I'd have to tell you a little story about this. When I joined this organization, the food would be depleted every 2 weeks. Like Carl said, we were open and I used to pray and worry about where the food's going to come from. I stopped worrying about that. It's in God's hands.
Okay.
We have about 15 to 20 regulars. After this, Carl and I will go to South County to Centerville, we'll go to White Pigeon, and we will stop also in Three Rivers to pick up food. The major stores in Kalamazoo like Walmart, Trader Joe's, Myers are significant contributors food.
Good.
Costco, we also buy from Feeding America and Battle Creek.
Oh.
Several of the stores, the restaurants, Red Lobster, and what's the one across the street? I can never think of its name. Olive Garden.
Okay.
And we pick up at an Italian restaurant that opened last year in Portage, and they give us food, and we distribute that also.
Okay.
There's a lot of other places. We've been up to Grand Rapids to pick up things.
Mm-hmm.
We go to Hamilton, Michigan,
Wow.
Hungry for Christ, and we get once a month pickups there, and we can fill 2 vans with the food that we get from them.
Wow.
And then there's a First Congregational Church in Allegan that we pick up on a weekly basis. And believe me, we fill up a van from them also.
Wow.
So those are the major contributors. People call, and 2 Girl Scout troops have donated peanut butter. Peanut butter was in a short supply. Toilet paper has been in short supply. People read our postings on Facebook, and they see what we need, and lo and behold, God provides the toilet paper and the peanut butter and jelly, meats, and all those kinds of things. So that's the surface of it all.
So what other ways can people support 12 Baskets?
As we all know, money is the ubiquitous way that we help run our organization. Okay, we have a 92-year-old lady, and I won't mention her name. She contributes $250 a week.
Wow.
My brother in Chicago contributes. My daughter contributes.
Wow.
There's a lot of individual donors. Some of the major cash donors are Eaton Corporation over in Galesburg. They just awarded us $5,600. Carl, help me out with some of the other donations.
I'm not very good at that. It's not on my paycheck.
I'll tell you about another one. We put in a parking lot last year
Okay.
that cost it was $40,000.
35.
$35,000. Because our lot was mud. Okay, and people were getting their shoes full of mud and their vehicles full of mud and all that.
Yeah.
So a financial advisor donated half the money, $16,000. And our landlord contributed it, but we'll have to pay him back when and if we buy the building. I should say. So Todd Sanford, I'll mention him specifically.
Yeah.
Has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Todd's a great guy.
Yeah, the Bridge Church last year asked Carl. Carl, you tell the story. You know that one. The Bridge Church about the money in the van.
We had this old van that was decrepit. And our board kept wanting to put money into this old van. We need that van. I said, no, we're not putting any more money in that van. And this went on for several months. And one quiet, still night, God settled the problem by dropping a big tree right across both our vans. The van that was still good was unharmed with a tree trunk about that far from the top.
Okay.
And it smashed that old van.
So
when that story got back to Jeff Winke at the bridge, he coughed up $4,000.
Okay.
And one of the church members coughed up another $10,000.
Wow.
And he was a car dealer, so he had access to the auction. And they got us a really nice van.
Wow.
So God handled that whole thing without any...
Isn't it amazing? I know a few years ago, we were trying to decide what to do with an old warehouse that we had. And I got a call one Saturday morning saying, well, the warehouse is on fire. And as it had happened, there was lightning hit the telephone pole, or some of the electrical wires or something went down, hit the side of the building and burnt the building down. And it was almost as if God was saying, quit worrying about that. I'm going to settle this for you. And now on that site, we have our new store. You know, but it's amazing when I watch and just see how God does what God does. You know, he turns tragedy into triumph all the time.
While we're talking about that, God completely supplies our pantry with food. To the extent that one day I said to one of the young ladies, I wish we'd get some more cookies. It's been a couple weeks since we got cookies. The next week, we got cookies. Tons of cookies came in, and I thought, that's just the only thing you could do.
You just got to ask.
Give him credit.
We could sit here and match stories. I'm telling you, because as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about things that where God does that same thing at the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission, you know. And so, isn't it something when you know that that God is going to take care of your ministry, that God is speaking to people, even through, you know, a medium like this radio program right here, that God is talking to people right now. And that as a result of this, there are going to be people that reach out.
We're sitting here today because of that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
One thing I'd like to mention is that about 12 months to 14 months ago, we started praying just before what we call shopping or distribution. Mm-hmm. So all the people that are there, usually there's 50, 60, 70 with all of our volunteers. And almost irrespective of the weather, we've done it when it's been 20 below, and when it's raining, then we'll curtail it and bring it inside. Mm-hmm. But we pray. Mm-hmm. We pray before the shopping. We thank God for everybody that's there, the health and well-being. And I think that situation has prompted a lot of what has happened today. Yeah. All the fantastic stories that we have experienced with the Gospel Mission Ministry, with the church, the bridge, the vans, the parking lot, and even the land contract that we have with our landlord. I can't mention too much about our landlord. I don't want to be negative, but he's actually supporting us in his own way.
Good.
Which is good.
Good. Isn't it something when you can see God's hand in what you're doing?
Yes.
You know, and He directs your steps, even at times when you don't know what the next step is. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
I would like to say one thing else about the pantry. We consider ourselves to be a totally different operation than most food pantries. Mm-hmm. Most food pantries box up product and give it to the person. Mm-hmm. And they do that like every 2 weeks or once a month. Mm-hmm. We give the people enough food for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. They come in the door, they get a grocery shop, and they go shopping just like they're in at Meijer. And we have a volunteer that shops with them to keep them from abusing the system.
Right.
But they go out there with a heaping grocery cart full of groceries.
Wow.
For enough food for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're allowed to shop there twice a month.
Uh-huh.
And so that gives them sustenance for
To elaborate on that, Carl, I want to mention the meat selection.
Yeah, oh my.
2 weeks ago, we had so much chicken donated that each family, each person got to select 3 choice pieces of chicken, packaged chicken. And we have always had pork, beef, we get turkey, we've got a bunch of fish for our shopping experience tomorrow. So you get to select 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds of meats that as part of the shopping experience, which is absolutely incredible. People are very satisfied and thankful for that meat.
One of our donors is Peas Packaging.
Peas Packing, yeah.
And we have people who raise beef for show, 4-H kids. Mm-hmm. And when they're done with those animals, they give them to Peas, and they're butchered, and we get the prize meat from those animals for simply paying the processing. Yeah.
That's a good deal.
It is a good deal.
I'm meeting, my guest this morning is with our Bill Steger and Carl Westpiner from 12 Baskets Ministry, and they're down in Portage, located on 10332 Portage Road, 49002. That's right near the intersection of Osterhout and Portage Road. And so if you're in need of food, you live in that area, you all service Portage, Three Rivers, Vicksburg, Fulton. It's Schoolcraft. Yeah. If you're in those areas, give them a call. If you're in need of food, give them a call at 269-532-4912. And if you want to support this just powerful ministry in that area, if you want to support them financially, give them a call or either send them a check to that address. That's 10332 Portage Road, 49002. And the ministry's name is 12 Baskets.
Food Baskets.
So tell me, So how many employees do you have?
We have no employees.
Oh, wait a minute. You've got no employees?
No employees. Nobody gets paid a
No
penny.
payroll.
It's all volunteers. The
Are
board's
you serious?
All the volunteers are not paid. They're there by the gift of God.
And how many volunteers do you have?
Well, now we have the board of 11 members, and at any one time we'll have 30 to 40 volunteers.
Wow.
Spread out for the whole week. Some will only come on Tuesday for stocking. Some will come on Friday on stocking. Some will volunteer to escort our guests through the pantry for shopping.
And so you do. So do you have? You got enough volunteers?
Never have enough, Pastor.
I know how that works. Well, I know that there are people who listen to our broadcast who are looking for opportunities to, connect with the ministry. And so if you're listening to this and you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, 12 Baskets down in Portage is a really great way to give back, help the community, and know that you're engaged in kingdom work. And so give them a call. They'd love to have you come out and give them some support.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. So so tell me a little bit about, we talked about when this started. Who were your founders?
Carl is one of the 4 or 5 founders that are still on the board.
Yes.
Go ahead, Carl.
Really? Who are?
That call came in from Portage School about the little kids being malnutrition, and so a week or so later we had a meeting in our church basement.
Okay.
And there were about probably 30 to 40 people at that meeting. And when we understood what the need was, some of us grabbed right onto it.
Okay.
And as a result, there's, I think, 4 couples left of that original group that are still with the pantry.
Okay.
Some of them have moved on to greater things, but we still have a good nucleus of originals. And when we started, the building we're in was a former small engine repair shop, and it was a mess. Grease stains on the floor, and they'd smoked, and everything was yellow. And so we spent a couple weeks in there, really dumbing the place out and painting and putting down carpet. And we had people give us carpet. They gave us floor tiles. They put in a new handicap bathroom. All that was donated.
Wow.
And we're already impressed by that time that this thing's going to run. And sure enough, we got Burroughs Corporation gave us shelving, adequate shelving. And so we've started filling the shelves.
Okay. Well, I was in there the other day, and you guys look like you're about to burst at the seams.
Yeah.
You're filling up that warehouse back there. Would you have a problem with a church that would call you and say, we'd like to bring down a group to come down and serve? Would you have a problem scheduling groups like that?
Actually, we have a group right now that does that.
Oh, really?
Jeff Winke's church sends us once a month about 8 to 10 people to help.
Wouldn't that be great if we could build on that?
Yes.
Get other churches engaged in a regular schedule?
Very much so.
Something like that. So if you're listening to this program and you're thinking this will be something that your church could latch on to and help support this group, feeding hurting families in the Portage area, Portage, Schoolcraft, Vicksburg, Fulton, Three Rivers, in those areas, this might be something you want to talk to your pastor or either your mission representative about and see if we can't support 12 baskets. I think about the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000.
That's right.
And the thing that impresses me that is so much is that they prayed. They prayed before they fed everybody, and they ended up having 12 baskets left over.
Yes.
And so your ministry is feeding people with what was left over.
That's right.
And you're continuing to pray, and God is continuing, to bless that ministry and to make sure that you have everything that you need. So if you're wanting to know more about 12 Baskets, you can check them out up online. Their website is www.12 12, spelled out, TWELVE dash baskets, BASKETS.org. That's www.12TWELVE dash baskets, BASKETS.org. Check them out and see if that's something that you can't partner with or want to be involved in. I'm sure there's a way, contact us button on their website. Give them a call, and I'm sure they'll work out some way to get you involved down there. Is there anything else, before we get ready to wrap up, is there anything else you'd like the community to know about 12 Baskets, about the work you're doing there?
Through God, it's through all the volunteers and people who donate money that keep us open. Mm-hmm. And I can't reiterate enough to all the people out there that support us through God, and that would be the message I'd like all of them to hear. Absolutely.
I would like to say that the beautiful website, when you go on it, is probably a $10,000 or $15,000 website, but it was given to us through God by the students at Western who are learning to build websites.
Wow.
And they worked on that for 3 months, putting that all together for us. And we could never have afforded a site.
They did a beautiful job. I saw it. It's an absolutely impressive website.
We are also on Facebook, 12 Baskets. And
okay.
If you put 12 Baskets in, you'll get about 15 different sites throughout the United States. But page down until you find us at Portage. That's a very, very great tool also for us, and make announcements.
So 12 Baskets, 332 Portage Road in Portage, 49002. If you have any questions, you want to talk to somebody, give them a call at 269-532-4912. I'd like to pray for my guests before we wrap up. Is that okay? You guys? Well, Father, right now, we just thank and praise you, God, for the 12 Baskets ministry, God. I thank you for so many diligent volunteers, God, who show up just to do kingdom work and make sure that those who are less fortunate have what they need. God, I thank you for our listening audience. I pray, God, that those people who are listening right now are going to rise to the occasion, are going to pick up and support the 12 Baskets ministry. God, I thank you for my two guests today. I understand that they're going to leave here and they'll be on their route making pickups. So I ask that you keep them safe, God. Keep them alert on the highway, God, and cause them to return back unharmed. And so we thank you for it. We believe it and receive it right now. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, once again, this is Pastor Michael Brown with Stories of Hope from the heart of our community, brought to you by the Kalamazoo Gospel Mission. We thank you for joining us. If you got any questions about the Kalamazoo Gospel Ministries, give us a call at 269-345-2974. God bless you, and we'll see you here again next week. Take care.
Bye.